My name is Singh, and today I'm presenting on a topic, and the name of that topic is Athbasca Oil Sands. And the first point is a background. One of the three oil sand deposit in the river Athbasca is the Athbasca Oil Sand. Oil sands, the other being the Peace River and the Cold Lake rivers. This make Canada third in the sand reserves and the second in the global oil reserves. More than 75% of Canada's oil production came from Alberta, with the 80% of with 80% of the production from Alberta's oil sand in 2013, and 1.9 million barrels of oil were recorded in 2013 from Alberta. Oil sands are daily with the 767 kilometers of a land affected by mining activities, and the project began in the 1960s, becoming financially viable in the 1990s due to better technology, high demand for oil, increase in oil prices. Continuing with the background, forecast of a 2020 and a 2030 daily production at a 3.7 million and a 5.2 million barrels respectively. However, the development affects northern border forecast of air quality, water in the river, and a land-based resources, and oil prices changes. As you can see over there, there's all the price changes, and from December 2011 to June 2014, there's a 108 US dollars, and a November 2014 there's a 30% drop, for 80 US dollars, and by December 2014 it's a $54 barrel, and in January 2015 it's a 48. And the reason for the drop in the price, the US dollar increased in strength and decrease in the global economy, that led to fall in the demand, and the US recorded a drastic increase in the oil production. Three. And continuing with the background, this resulted in an oversupply of oil by around 2 million barrels daily by the end of 2014. Controlling oversupply, OPEC, that account for 1 by 3 for the total production, normally decrease their output so as to the maintenance price. The gap is normally filled by other oil production countries that has increased in the production. Economic implications. If the oil prices past 2015 would not go up, the government would lose 4.3 billion in tax, with the oil production province losing around 10 billion due to reduced and the taxes. Most oil sands in Alberta are said to a viable, with the price of a barrel being in the minimum US $110. Three. And here's the last slide for the background. Low price mean that some operation would not profitable, and there would no development of the new operations. Moreover, for the forecast, 5.2 million barrels into 2030 would go down to 4.8 million barrel per day. And in contrast, manufacturing province such as Quebec and Ontario would benefit for the low oil prices. So would the consumers. Moreover, the Canadian dollar would compete favorable with the American dollars, allowing for more exports to the US. Overall implications: Canada can win or lose if global price go up or down respectively. Some provinces within Canada will gain or lose, depending on the price of oil. Here's the next slide for the extracting oil from the oil sands. The oil removed from the oil sands is referred as a crude bitumen. It is a thick, heavy, and cannot flow towards as well. Extraction. Bitumen is at a maximum depth of 100 meter below surface. Use of a surface or a strip mining from one pits, and bitumen at a minimum depth of 100 meter below surface used as a steam assisted gravity. Thereafter, processing is done to the proceed the first synthetic crude oil, that is then transferred to the destination in Canada and US. Pipeline move most of the oil. One controversial pipeline is the Keystone XL pipeline that was to be built from Alberta to Gulf of the Coast. It was to cross over an Athbasca that supplies water to many Great Plains states, and would being negative effects to the inhabitant of the areas. Here's the next slide for the environmental impacts. Boreal forest and the wetlands. Oil sand development have to lead to the fragmentation of a boreal forests. This has been done through surface or a strip mining, building of roads, building of above ground pipelines, This factor end up breaking the continuously of a woodlands and wetlands, causing small separated patches and a reduction in the habitat of a wildlife. The land consists mainly of a dried forest hills, more lakes area um, from the end pit lake used in the oil sand production, absence of a peatlands. Next slide, and the next slide for the environmental impacts at Basca River. There is a removal of a large amount of water from the river to meet the demand of for the oil sand production. This threatened the peace at Athbasca Delta and aquatic life. The oil sands withdraw the withdraw the highest amount of water from the river with the predicted increase in withdrawal. They also deposit a large amount of pollution in the river water. And the next slide for the environmental impact, air quality. The oil sands represent a 5% of Canada's GHG emission and is also a fastest growing source. And the second point is the criteria air contains involves contaminants emitted by heavy industries using fossil fuels and the having negative impacts on health. These include a nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, and which particle matter which are all released by the oil sand industry. And the third point is that technology has helped oil sands to reduce the amount of pollutants per barrel of oil. However, production of a synthetic oil from bitumen has more pollutants as compared to the as compared to the oil processing. Furthermore, expansion of oil sand operation means that there is a general increase in pollution despite the decrease in pollution per barrel. Continuing with the environmental impact, wildlife in 2008, 1,600 ducks died landing into a tailing pond by a Crude, Canada and oil sands. The government argued that there should have been measure in a place to deter birds landing in the tailing pond. A court ruling in 2010 assigned a $3 million fine that was a cater for fine sport research in how to deter birds from oil sand operations, supporting an environmental diploma program and a habitat research. There's a picture also. Three. And this is the last slide of my presentation, environmental monitoring and assessment. In 2012, the federal and the Alberta government developed a joint plan for monitoring the oil sands to ensure the first point, the public would have access to annual reports. The monitoring system would be a reviewed, and the third point is a creation of a data management framework to ensure free and a public availability of information and things to be monitored. The first point, the quality of air emission to disposal, acid sensitive lakes, and the third point is the quality of water. And the fourth point is the health of aquatic life, and the fifth point is the wildlife toxicology, and the sixth is a habitat distribution. And these are the references and the end of my presentation. Thank you.